What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is my Superman review. There will be spoilers in this video. I apologize for not having this review out sooner. I actually saw Superman last Saturday, but I needed some time to gather all my thoughts and flesh everything out for you guys, so just bear with me. Overall, I got to say, now I want to start this off by saying I know there's a lot of controversy, there's a lot of mixed feelings about this film, even though I know it's had a great opening weekend and it has great reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, and critics and fans seem to love it, what the media is saying. I know it's a lot more divisive than what the media has been saying. And I think a lot of the movie just did not work for me. And let me give you some background to what I'm saying, because I came into the Superman movie not really too excited. I didn't really like a lot of the trailers. To me, the movie looked like it had a lot of issues in terms of a lot of characters, a lot of things going on, a lot of heroes and villains and monsters, and I will say it did have a lot of those problems. Some of the problems it had was bigger than others, and I do think the film has some good scenes, some good moments. Some of those good moments were the scenes with Superman and Pa Kent. That was a great scene. You just felt, even though it was very generic, and the whole message was the story you hear, you are your actions, and you show them who you are, and all that type of stuff. And I'm simplifying it a little more than it was, but that's just how I felt in the movie when I watched it, guys. So overall, I think it had a good message. The biggest issues I had was it was convoluted with all these other characters, that their idea, James Gunn's idea, was to have these characters already existing, and they thought that that would fix the problem with shoehorning all these different characters in the movie, which it doesn't to me, because you still don't really understand, or at least for me, I didn't understand where a lot of these characters were coming from. I didn't understand, especially the main villain, Lex Luthor, who I need to talk about now, because he was a disappointment to me, and I did not like the Lex Luthor that much, even though Nicholas Hoult is a great actor, the guy who plays him. I felt the same way about Guy Gardner. I know he's supposed to act that way. It's just something just seemed a little off, even though I love Nathan Fillion. He's great. I want him to be great in everything. I just have to be honest. I wasn't really feeling those characters too much. However, the characters I did enjoy and love brought the film up a little higher than I thought it was going to be. So those characters are Jimmy Olsen from the Daily Planet and Mr. Fantastic. I get the Fantastic Four mixed up with this shit, man. I gotta relax. But Mr. Terrific, not Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Terrific is a great character in this movie. I enjoyed a lot of his scenes. He did a great job to me. And as well as Jimmy Olsen, he was fantastic. He was the ladies' man. He was just endearing to me. He just was a great character. He was actually funny. And that whole dynamic between him and Eve, I actually thought was pretty good. I thought it was a good little side arc they had in the movie. That's the part I actually really enjoyed, was Eve and Jimmy Olsen. And so those humor parts of the film worked for me. It was just a lot of the other dialogue didn't work. Superman himself, I want to get to right now, because The main problems I have with the Superman was, I understand they had a great idea, make him more human. I love that fact. The only problem is, yes, they made him more human and relatable, but a lot of the dialogue just, for some reason, I can tell the guy can act. It didn't sound quite right to me, and it just felt very generic, and we didn't get enough backing that up. We didn't get enough development for Superman himself, Clark Kent, because I feel like they worried too much about creating the world of the DCU that James Gunn's running, rather than making a great Superman movie. That's just my thoughts overall. I know, guys, I want to say this for everybody watching. Like I said, I know this film has been getting mixed reactions, even though, like I said, the media is not always right. I've done my research, I've seen a lot of people's reviews, and I know how toxic the fan base can be. And I don't want it to be toxic, guys. I think we can, why can't we have different opinions and be able to talk to each other like adults without sounding like children? It's ridiculous. It's really crazy and astonishing that people act certain ways just because you don't like it. Let me just say, if you love this movie, I wanted to love this movie. Just because I didn't love it doesn't mean I want you to hate it or vice versa. That is crazy. And I just wish we would have a better conversation. I wish we could talk to each other without yelling, screaming, and back talking and all this nonsense we do. So that being said, if I were to rate this movie from 1 through 10, I'll give it a 6.7. Now, that's my final score, 6.7. However, it almost got to a 7 or 7.2. But overall, I had time to think about it. It was just going up and down, but that is my final thoughts. It's sitting at 6.7, and I think it got that high because of the things I talk about, because of Mr. Terrific, Jimmy Olsen, and the Paul Kent interactions. And those were smaller parts of the film, but it really had a pretty big impact for me. So that's why it's sitting higher. So guys, let me know what you guys all think down below. I want to know your thoughts and opinions. And until next time, Chino out.